Hi, welcome to part 4 of the first chapter of English entitled My First Steps. This first chapter also includes the first steps of Sunil Gavaskar and our first steps to studying English and getting good command over this language. Over the course of this English NIOS number 302, we'll be able to go around the world and speak English to anybody and communicate nicely. So first of all, let's quickly review what we did in the third part of this chapter. We talked about Sunil Gavaskar. We talked about his playing days as a cricket player and what he's doing now helping the world. And then we went over simple past tense and the word did and how we use did to establish questionings and establish negative statements so we could write and communicate ourselves to people in a reporting fashion. And we discussed about cliches. There's a new cliche that just came out, I think you'll appreciate. If you had only 1 hour to live the rest of your life, what would you do in that hour? Well, the answer is you would go to math class, because math class never ends. And so you'll never die. Anyway, let's go on with the fourth session. And you all have your books. On page number 10, it starts off with note making. And why is note making important? In fact, on all of the pages you have of your whole book, you'll see on the side, on either the left or right side, a place for notes. Notes are so important. Let me tell you my story. I went to civil engineering school and I took some notes, but I went to law school. I was newly married, had a new child, had a new job, and was going to law school in the evening. I didn't have a chance to really study these textbooks, so I started making good notes. In fact, some of the other students made good notes too. One student made such good notes, he sold them to the rest of the other students, called cans, and he would can all of the chapters. And we would just read these cans and we would know the ingredients of the chapter. So it's a very profitable thing to do. And I went online to discover and to tell you the 10 advantages to taking good notes. And these advantages are to take notes with your own handwriting. 10 benefits of writing notes with your own handwriting. So as we go along here, you can write your notes on the side of the page here. There'll be 1 to 10. You can write these down. These will be your first notes taken on this class. So what's the first advantage of taking notes by hand? It increases your ability to focus. So on your notes here, you just put ability to focus. It increases, okay? Number 2, it increases your comprehension. As you write these things down, you comprehend them in a more effective manner. Number 3, you will be able to understand and process more information. We know in our classes we're getting more and more information. We have to understand it and we have to process it. Number 4, on your notes, it improves your memory. It's very interesting. As you write things out with your hand, okay, you engage your body. It's called kinesthetics, okay? And some people learn directly by kinesthetics. Some people learn by auditory, hearing. Some people learn by visual. Some people learn by all of them. They all work together. But number 4, it improves your memory. Number 5, it inspires your creativity. You start being very creative with your notes. You start using your own abbreviations. You make your notes look real pretty. Number 6, it engages your mind. Unless you're not letting your mind wander. You can be in a class and your mind can wander out to a cricket game or to the weather outside or to a noise or something. But if you're taking notes, your mind is fully engaged. Number 7, it extends your attention span. We all know all of a sudden we're attending on something and then the mind goes somewhere else. But if you are taking notes with your own handwriting, you extend your attention span and you learn more, and your attention is fixed on the class. Number 8, it improves your organization of information. Because you're taking notes and you can't write down every word that the person's saying, your mind organizes automatically what should be written down. The 9th advantage, it improves your prioritizing skills. There are certain priorities. Some things are very important, some things are less important. And automatically, as you're taking notes, when you read it or when the teacher is talking to you, you'll prioritize these statements and you write down the most important ones. And then after you've taken good notes with nice handwriting, then it provides a comprehensive article, condensed document for you to study. It's incredible. You can study easily. You don't have to read everything. You can just go to your notes. And after I looked over these 10 things, I read 9 more articles. There's 9 more articles, comprehensive articles, on the advantage of good note-taking with your own handwriting. Mainly because you've engaged your heart. When you see things and you hear things and you write things, your heart becomes engaged. That's why it's so nice to get a written letter or a written note from somebody. You know that they really care about you. So if you care about your class and you care about learning fantastic English so you can have fun and converse with people everywhere, take good notes. So we'll go into the class. Note-making. Note-making is an important skill. We've already discussed at least 10 advantages to it, which can help us in many ways. We do not and cannot usually remember everything. Now there are certain people like Vivekananda who could remember everything, but most of us still cannot remember everything. So we have a wide perspective from 10% to 90% of what we hear we can remember. Most of us are down at the 20% range. And they've done studies and they've figured out that if you write it down, 20% more gets absorbed and retained by you. So just hearing, you retain 10 to 20%, maybe 30%. By writing it down, you get 40 to 50 to 60%. Very important to write it down. Do you remember every word, lesson, every word and every lesson that you've read? It is very hard to do so. Notes help you to store important information. What is note-making? Note-making is a brief presentation of the main ideas and supporting ideas of a text in a point form. You must be careful that the notes you make are easy to understand. The notes you cannot understand yourself after a few months are not good notes. So it's important to look over your notes right away. The first day or the first time you write them, you should look over, make sure you understand them, and a day or so later, go over those notes and make sure that you understand them. Very important to have good notes. How to make notes? Read the whole passage to get the central idea. You know, our teacher has said the SQ3. This is the method. We survey the article and we decide on a couple of questions in our own mind, and then we read it. So we already have an idea of where we're going. And then we recite it, and then we review it. So the best thing to do is to read the whole passage once and get the main central idea. Then read the passage again once or twice to underline the main idea. Select the points related to the main idea. Points to remember. As you're taking notes, remember these points. Correct understanding of the text is essential. If you don't understand it as you're reading, go to an online source or talk to your teacher. Make sure you understand it so you can write good notes. Notes must be brief. Simple notes, just the very main points. Notes made in a point form. So just put the points, one, ding, bing, bing. They should not be complete sentences. This is not an essay contest. You just write the main points and then your mind will automatically fill in what's left. The main idea and the related ideas are numbered as main points and subpoints. Recognizable abbreviations and symbols are used whenever necessary. Whenever you can, it's nice to use an abbreviation because then it cuts down your note-making time. For example, GOVT, period, for government, and / for therefore. Don't use abbreviations that may create confusion. Points to remember. Points are arranged in a logical order. Make it sure that you can understand as you go down what the points are. Don't make them helter-skelter. Keep them in order. Ornamental words and phrases are dropped. We don't need to use ornamental words or a lot of adjectives. We just go to the main points. Examples and quotations are dropped. We don't need to use examples or quotations. We're going just to the main points. You want to understand what this subject is about. A suitable title is given. On the top of your notes, you put notes for English class number 1 or notes for math class. Put your title on there so you know what the notes are for. Fortunately, in our textbook, we're going to put the notes on the same page we have our English text. Very clever. A suitable title is given. So even if we have notes here, put a title on top of your notes so you know what you're looking at. And key to abbreviations is given. We'll give you a key at the end here, and you can use your own abbreviations. So let's go into practice. Read the passage given below. In the 19th century, Charles Dickens, the English novelist, he was a great novelist, wrote many beautiful books, wrote excitedly of a stagecoach. He lived hundreds of years ago, and the stagecoach just became into a creation. Pulled along by a team of horses that could cover more than 20 miles in an hour. In other words, with your stagecoach, instead of walking, the best you can walk is 10 miles an hour, usually only 7 or 8. But with a stagecoach, you can go 20 miles, twice as fast. Could cover more than 20 miles in an hour. To us, in the 20th century, actually we're in the 21st century now, when man is able to move and to communicate with such rapidity, the speed of the stagecoach seems no speed at all. Aeroplanes fly at many hundreds of miles in an hour. Express trains can achieve 4 times the speed of the stage. And even without moving, we can by wireless telegraph communicate within seconds with people on the other side of the globe, on the other side of the earth. We have an airplane here. These new airplanes fly close to the speed of sound, 500 miles an hour. You can go across the ocean in a few hours. So, the advantages of these increased speeds are numerous. Businessmen traveling, say from Europe to America or to the Far East, can save much time for a journey that would have taken weeks by now, by air, in less than 12 hours. This airplane they jump on, they're over in any part of Asia, or they're over in Europe, they're over in America. Fruits and vegetables and other goods that would decay on a long, slow journey can now be safely sent to distant places. Members of one family, separated from each other by vast distances, can have conversations with each other by telephone as easily as if they were all sitting in the same room. Not all of the effects of speed, however, are beneficial. People who are in the habit of using a motor car whenever they want to move half a mile become physically lazy and lose the power of enjoying a vigorous walk, walking to the grocery store, walking to the mailbox. They drive their car. Those who travel through at the speed of light do not see much of the life that the country of that country, of its people and animals and plants as they flash past. We're talking the speed of sound. The speed of light is a little bit faster. They become so anxious about moving quickly from place to another that they are no longer able to relax and enjoy a leisurely journey. You can see in this picture here, The airplane is flying so high at 550 miles an hour, but they don't see very much, maybe little clouds, maybe the moon or a sunset, but they miss all of the country that they're flying over. Men are made restless by speedy travel. The pace of their whole way of living has increased. Discussion. You may have noticed that in the passage is about rapid means of transport and communication in the 21st century. We will read the first paragraph again and underline the important ideas or ideas. The most important idea in the paragraph, the first paragraph, is this. In the 20th century, human beings are able to move and communicate fast with such means as aeroplanes, express trains, and wireless. We will drop the reference, read the second paragraph, and pick out the important details. Pick out the important ideas. The second paragraph lists the advantages of high-speed transportation, which are as follows. 1. Businessmen traveling from one place to another can save time because their journey time is much less. Instead of wasting a week or two on a trip, they can be doing business. 2. Fruits and vegetables. You can see all of these fruits and vegetables around the presentation here. All of these fruits and vegetables can be shipped over to America, and they'll reach there in time to still be good. Fruits and vegetables and other goods that would decay on a slow journey can now be safely sent to distant places. 3. Members of one family separated by distance can now talk on the telephone. Now, we'll read the third paragraph and note the important ideas. The paragraph says that there are some disadvantages to speed. These are: 1. People habitually riding in a motor car become lazy and lose the habit of vigorously walking. You can see in the back there's a picture of a motor car with an open top, and people jump in their car just to go a few blocks. People traveling at a high speed through a country cannot enjoy the countryside as they flash past. No way. They can't see the countryside. They miss the joy of traveling. 3. People, in their anxiety to move fast, cannot relax and enjoy a leisurely journey. In the old days, you used to travel across the ocean on a boat, and for 1 or 2 months, you'd be sitting there enjoying the ocean and the sunsets and the sunrises. Now you fly there in 4 hours. You do not enjoy this leisurely journey. 4. People become restless. As you travel across these time zones, your body takes a while to acclimate, and so you become a little bit restless. 5. The pace of living has increased. So in technology, instead of helping us, has turned out to be a little bit of a hindrance for us. Those are the main points. Now that we have identified the important points in the passage, we'll write them in a sequence and a point form. We'll use abbreviations and symbols wherever possible. We'll make short and brief notes. We'll also give our notes a title. Notes on the passage. Title: Fast Means of Transport and Communication. This is the head of our notes. 1. Fast means of transport and communication, e.g. airplanes, express trains, wireless, telegraph, in the 20th century. You notice we've used abbreviations for century, e.g. we've used abbreviations to make it easier. Number 2, advantages of fast transport and communication. 1, saves time. 2, transports perishable goods safely. 3, ensures fast and easy communication. You can see the wireless here. Fast and easy. The words go through these wires across countries, no problem. Now, let's go further in our notes. Disadvantages. Number 3, there are some disadvantages, And to do a proper job of our notes, we have to show what those disadvantages are. Disadvantages of fast transport. 1, makes people lazy. If you have too many services, too many servants for you, it's easy to get lazy. And we want to stay in good shape. Health is wealth. 2, prevents them from enjoying the countryside as they flash past. Look at this picture we have. There's a nice road. You drive along slowly, or you walk along the road, or you take your bicycle and go along the road. You see the trees, the mountains. You see a beautiful rainbow. You can enjoy it by going on land, but in the air you'll miss most of this. Number 3, it makes them restless because of their anxiety to move fast. As fast as they're going, they want to move faster. It's a catch-22. You want to get there, you want to take a faster jet, a faster train. 3, makes them restless because of their anxiety to move fast. 4, increases the pace of living. These technologies should allow us to live at a more leisurely pace. We're not at the beck and call of technology. We're able to use technology to have more leisure time. Key to abbreviation and symbols. Communication, we take out the IO and we have an apostrophe. E.g. means, for example. Exempli gratias is the Latin words for e.g. Sen, C-E-N, period, stands for century. Now, here is another passage, another example. Try to make notes with the help of the clues given under the passage. Noise can cause widespread damage to the human ear. You can see the human ear here. It's not made to take noise that is too loud. It can cause widespread damage to the human body, mainly through the ear. Environmental noise affects the nervous system in a number of ways. Temporary deafness can be caused by brief exposure to intense noise. Excessive noise exposure can result in headaches, fatigue, dizziness, high blood pressure, and tense muscles. Congenital defects can be caused in an unborn child by intense and sustained noise as experienced by female construction workers. Noise is measured in decibels, capital D, capital B, and psychological research has proved that 90 decibels or above can cause deafness, and 140 decibels and above can cause absolute madness. The main idea, clues to notes. The main idea, noise can cause widespread damage to the human body. Intense and brief exposures causes temporary deafness or complete deafness. Excessive exposure causes 1, headaches, 2, fatigue. You can write this in on your page, fatigue. 3, write dizziness right here, dizziness. And 4, high blood pressure and tense muscles. You can see this man talking to the microphone, but he doesn't shout into the microphone. The microphone is set under 90 decibels. Intense and sustained noise harms an unborn child. You can see here, the sister is touching her sister in the mother and doesn't make a lot of noise, wants that sister to be good. So we have to take good care of these unborn children. No loud noise. 5, noise is measured in decibels, D-E-C-I-B-E-L-S. Write that in your book. 90 decibels, okay, causes, above 90 decibels causes deafness, at least temporary deafness, okay? And over 140 decibels causes what? It causes madness, absolute madness if you're around loud noises. So what's the title? The title is Be Careful of Loud Noises. I have a story. A friend of mine in college was a drummer in a band, and one year he played in this band, and he lost 30% of his hearing because he was listening to sounds over 90 decibels all the time. He was such a nice young man, but it doesn't matter if you're nice or wicked or what. If you listen to loud music over 90 decibels, you're going to harm your hearing. Common abbreviations and symbols. Now that we know how to take notes, we have to simplify these notes and take shortcuts, okay? So you can abbreviate the way you like, but make sure that your abbreviations are intelligible. So you want to be able to read your own notes, all right? Some commonly used abbreviations are as follows, and I'll highlight the important ones, okay? This is a good one, government, G-O-V-T. You don't need to put the period in your own notes. It stands for government. Science, SC stands for science. It's easy. Social Security, social science, S.SC. Com for commerce. Plus sign, VE stands for positive, or you can just put the plus sign for positive. Minus sign with VE stands for negative. Can be used in your notes for math class. JR, junior. Everybody uses that abbreviation. That's a good one. AC, account. That's a nice one. I use that myself. BK for book. Come over here. CAPT for captain. A short way of writing captain. CM, centimeter. That's easily done. M for meter. You always use that. That's a nice one. CO, care of. Care of. That's a nice one to use in your letters. DEPT, department. ESP means especially. ESTD, established. The school was established in a certain year. KG stands for kilogram. We all use that in our science notes. And LAB stands for laboratory. Let's go through a few more. LTD is for limited. A lot of corporations that are started in Europe, even the States, and especially in England, are LTD. They're limited. They have a limited liability. NA, non-applicable. You can use that very easily. NA. It's used a lot. PT stands for point. RETD, retired. Okay? And REC, apostrophe D, stands received. I received a package. SHD for should. You should take good notes. CD stands for could. You could take good notes. STD, standard. Whenever you have to use the word standard, just put STD. And SIG for signature. You can put that on the bottom of your note, SIG. We'll go further on to the next one is TEL for telephone. And UNIV for university. WT for weight. Next one is year. This is used a lot. YR. Just put that for the year. Everybody understands that. You can put the YR and then put 1952. And this one is very good to use. As you're writing along, just put and. Very simple movement, and. And then the slash means therefore. Equal marks, okay, right there, equal to. Above is percent, okay, and then the arrow going to the right means that this is greater than that, and then the arrow going to the left means it's lesser than that, okay. I.e., that is, and we looked at the Latin words for that, e gratis, okay? Another way of explaining that is. A lot of people use i.e. E.g., for example, e gratis, for example. I.e. that is, and then e.g. for example. Very nice, very good to use. WEF, with effect from. And now you can make your own abbreviations. Example, you could do FINCL for financial, okay? Or you can use ORGN for organization. So let's look at the takeaways here from this lesson. Notes are the best way to improve your education. They have found out that all of your scores on all of your tests become better if you take good notes by hand. Writing things down engages your heart and your physical body in kinesthetic learning. And visual learning and audio learning are enhanced by kinesthetic learning. You can do your own abbreviations. And we will end this class with a new cliche, okay? The cliche is, life was much easier when apple and blackberry were just fruits. When I grew up, apple and blackberry were just talking about fruits, okay? Now, apple and blackberry are talking about computers and cell phones, smartphones. Very clever. And since we are dealing with what's in front of us, okay, we now want to use what's here in front of us. We have the Apple computers. We have the BlackBerry smartphones, okay? We're not living in the past. But we can use this technology in a positive way to give us more time. More time to do what? Contemplate on the realities of life. To have more time to look at nature and to enjoy life. And not to be overstimulated by these technologies and let these technologies overrun our lives. So let's use these things in a positive way. With this, I'll close the fourth class. Thank you very much. Om Saram. Very much for your attention. Enjoy your English class. Om Saram.